A Study in Scarlet, 1887. Episode 5. The Hunter Becomes the Hunted. Welcome back, Detective. You've just discovered that the mysterious cab driver is none other than your killer. But as Holmes, Watson, and you rush into the foggy London streets, you're about to learn that some quarry is more dangerous when cornered. Picture this. The three of you emerge from 221B into a thick London fog that turns gas lamps into ghostly halos. The clip-clop of horse hooves echoes from invisible carriages, and somewhere in this maze of shadows, a killer who has waited 20 years for revenge knows you're coming. There! Watson points down Baker Street. I can just make out a cab. But Holmes holds up a warning hand. Careful, Watson. We're no longer investigating, we're being tested. This man didn't simply drive that woman here by coincidence. He wanted us to know who he was. What would you do in this situation, Detective? Chase immediately or proceed with caution. Remember, this isn't a common criminal. This is someone with nothing left to lose. As you approach the cab, Holmes whispers urgently, observe everything. His hands, his posture, whether he favors one side. If he's armed, how quickly can he reach his weapon? The cab driver sits motionless, an enormous figure hunched over the reins. In the gaslight, you can see a weathered face with piercing eyes and a grizzled beard. He looks like he could snap a man in half with his bare hands. Evening, gentlemen, the driver says in a surprisingly educated voice with a slight American accent. I believe you've been looking for me. Holmes approaches slowly, hands visible. Mr. Jefferson Hope, the man replies. Though I suspect you already know that name, don't you, Mr. Holmes? The name hits like a thunderbolt. Do you recognize it, Detective? This is the good man the woman mentioned, the one who tried to save Sarah and watched his friend die. You're not what I expected, Holmes admits. 20 years of hunting should have made you wild, desperate. Instead, you seem calm, resigned almost. Hope laughs bitterly. Resigned? Mr. Holmes, I've spent 2 decades tracking those animals across continents. I've been a miner in Nevada, a scout in the Rockies, a farmer in California, all while following their trail. Desperation burned out of me long ago. What remains is purpose. What do you make of this man, Detective? Is he a cold-blooded killer or someone driven by justice? The poison, Holmes says. Very clever. Alkaloid-based, I assume. Something that mimics heart failure? You are as brilliant as they say, Hope acknowledges. It's extracted from a plant that grows in the Utah mountains. The Mormons taught me about it, ironically. They use it in very small doses for religious purposes. Watson steps closer. But why? Why not simply shoot them? Why the elaborate methods? Hope's eyes burn with old fury. Because I wanted them to know death was coming. I wanted them to feel the same terror Sarah felt, the same helplessness. He reaches into his coat, and Watson instinctively moves for his service revolver. But Hope only produces a small leather case. 2 pills, Hope explains. Identical in appearance. One harmless, one deadly. I gave each man a choice. Take one pill, and I'd take the other. Leave their fate to Providence, just as they left Sarah's fate to their twisted interpretation of God's will. This is brilliant psychological torture, isn't it, Detective? Force your victim to participate in their own death while maintaining the illusion of choice. Drebber took the poison pill first try, Hope continues with grim satisfaction. Stangerson was more suspicious. It took persuasion. Holmes circles the cab slowly. But you made mistakes. The word on the wall, Rach. You wanted the world to know this was vengeance. I wanted him to know, Hope corrects. In those final moments, I wanted Drebber to understand why he was dying. Rach. Revenge in the language of my ancestors. My grandfather was German, you see. And the ring? Sarah's wedding ring, the one they forced onto her finger. I made Drebber look at it as the poison took hold. I wanted him to remember her face. The emotional weight of this revelation hits you. This isn't just murder. It's a man trying to balance cosmic scales of justice. But then Watson asks the crucial question. What happens now? Your revenge is complete. Hope shrugs. Now I wait. I've done what I came to do. I'm not running anymore. You could escape, Holmes points out. You know London streets. You have resources. Escape to what? Hope asks quietly. I've lived for 20 years with only one purpose. That purpose is fulfilled. Besides, he adds with a strange smile, I might not have much time left anyway. What do you think he means by that, detective? Is there something else at play here? Holmes notices something others have missed. You're ill. Heart condition? Something serious? Hope nods slowly. The doctors in America gave me 6 months. That was 8 months ago. I've been living on borrowed time, Mr. Holmes, long enough to finish what I started. The fog swirls around you as the true tragedy becomes clear. A dying man's final mission, 20 years in the making, fulfilled in the grimy streets of London. Will you come quietly? Holmes asks. I will. But first, let me ask you something, Mr. Holmes. You've heard my story. In your expert opinion, was justice served? How would you answer that question, detective? Was Jefferson Hope a murderer or an instrument of justice? Can revenge ever be righteous? Holmes considers carefully. Justice and law are not always the same thing, Mr. Hope, but that decision isn't mine to make. As Hope climbs down from his cab, Watson notices something alarming. Holmes! His heart! Hope clutches his chest, face contorting in pain. The excitement, the stress of confession, the culmination of his life's work. It's too much for his damaged heart. Sarah, he whispers as he collapses. I kept my promise. In his final moments, Jefferson Hope presses something into Holmes's hand. A small photograph of a young woman with kind eyes and a gentle smile. Tell them, Hope gasps. Tell them why. What do you think this teaches us, detective? About justice, about revenge, about the prices we pay for our choices. As Hope breathes his last, Holmes studies the photograph. So ends the case of the study in Scarlet. A study in human nature, really. Love, loss, revenge, and the lengths to which people will go for those they cherish. Watson stares at the scene. It doesn't feel like a victory. Because it isn't one, Holmes replies quietly. There are no winners here, Watson. Only consequences, playing out across decades. The fog begins to lift as dawn approaches, revealing the true cost of this case. 2 murderers dead, but also their victims, and the collateral damage of broken lives stretching back 20 years. But Holmes's reputation is made. Word of this case will spread, bringing him the recognition that will define his career. And for you, detective friend, this is just the beginning of your adventures with the world's first consulting detective. What case would you like to tackle next? Because in the world of Sherlock Holmes, mystery and danger are never far away. Next series, The Sign of 4, where you'll encounter exotic poisons, hidden treasures, and a case that will change Watson's life forever.